All right, all right. LDW MMAC, this is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys, a subscriber wanted my input on this particular fight that happened with Talita Noguiera and Jessica Miele. And I apologize because normally I'm on top of stuff like this. I just been busy, and I didn't think it was a fight that a lot of people watch. But, apparently, people did watch this. So I'm going to give you my honest breakdown. And I've been thinking these things about Talita Noguiera for a while. I think Talita, she was definitely expected to win this fight. Like, she was expected to go in there and dominate. Because, she, fought Julia Budd very tough and, and so on and so on and so on. Talita Noguiera is very tough. But the thing of it is, she's in the crop of these fighters that they understand one thing. That's the one thing that they grew up doing. For Talita Noguiera, that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She relies very heavily on that. Very, very heavily on that. And, and I always say on this channel, when you get to a point to where people can stop your best thing, if they can shut down what you do best, and if you don't have a plan B, you're a knockout waiting to happen. She lucky that Jessica Miele didn't have the guns and the power to knock her out. Like, she lucky. Had Jessica Miele had that kind of power, it would have been all she wrote. Jessica Miele, Jessica Miele, she appeared to, not only win the striking battle, but she appeared to definitely stop any takedowns and jiu-jitsu that, Talita Nogueira tried to do. Jessica Miele, she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu herself, so, there's only so much that you're going to do. I think Talita Nogueira's jiu-jitsu is better. But if you got somebody who's even a brown belt, who's a brown belt, even a blue belt, they can stop submissions. They may can't submit you, but they can stop you, okay, from doing what you want to do at times. Jessica Miele was able to do that. You got guys like, Kayla Hype Job Harrison. You got Kron Gracie. All these people, they rely heavily on one thing. And it's going to work early on. You're fighting against normal or novice MMA fighters who, they don't have any fights under their belt. You're going to beat those kind of fighters. But when you fight somebody with some experience, I'm talking about somebody who know how to bang, they done been in there with just people on high levels, you're not going to stop those people with the one thing that you do best. Okay? I mean, there's several fighters. You got Holly Holm, where she relies on the stand-up and the kickboxing part of her game. She relies on that heavily. And, we saw her take Megan Anderson to the ground, and that's it. That's the only time that you've ever seen Holly Holm really use her ground game. Other than that, Holly Holm don't really use it. You saw Megan Anderson, she got exposed. Okay, on the ground by Felicia Spencer. Then she got exposed on the ground by Holly Holm. Because these people, they don't understand that you got to do more than one thing in MMA, or somebody going to exploit you. See, if you are a jiu-jitsu practitioner, if that's what you do, if you wrestle, if that's what you do, you're going to have to evolve with the game. Because sometimes your wrestling ain't going to be good enough. It's not. Your jiu-jitsu won't be enough to get the job done. Kron Gracie found that out. Okay? It's just not going to be enough to get the job done. Carla Esparza found that out. So what did Carla Esparza do? She evolved. She started working on her striking. Randa Marcos, an accomplished wrestler. Okay? Her wrestling is second to none almost. Guess what she had to do? Okay? She had to evolve her game. She had to learn how to strike. She had to learn how to throw punches. She had to learn how to elevate that part of her game in order to survive in this day's MMA. You got these young girls now, they coming out the womb, okay? They coming out the womb doing everything, okay? And some of them, they'll take karate for a couple of years, and then, they'll add on like wrestling, they'll add on jiu-jitsu, and, it's a must. And if you are a BJJ practitioner and you come right out, and that's all you do in the octagon is get submissions, you don't try to do any other parts of your game, you're going to get knocked out. Because there's somebody on planet Earth that God can put you in there with. And when they put you in there with that person, they're going to be able to stop your takedown attempts. They're going to be able to stop your kicks and strikes. They're going to be able to stop all of that. And when you can't do that, that's it. Fight's over. Done. When I saw this fight, I saw Talita Nogueira making an attempt to strike. I saw her. It was ineffective. I saw her do some decent leg kicks, but that's about it. Her striking is not there. It's non-existent, okay? She tried. She tried to do her best. Talita Noguiera tried to go to plan B. She tried to strike with Jessica Miele. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. Jessica Miele put them hands on her. She put them hands on her, and there was nothing that Talita Noguiera could do. There was nothing that she really could do. And for any young fighter that you watching my channel, this need to be a message to you. Like you really need to. You need to understand what I'm saying. Okay, you really legit need to understand what I'm talking about, because if you take your career and if you do one thing, and if that's all you do, okay, somebody's gonna figure it out, y'all. They're gonna figure it out. People are gonna figure out how to stop you. People are gonna figure out, how to avoid your takedowns or your kicks or your punches or your submission attempts. They're gonna learn how to do it. They're gonna study you. They're gonna analyze you, and you won't be on top of the game no longer. You just won't, guys. That's just what it is. Talita Noguiera, she lost this fight not because her jiu-jitsu failed her. It's because the other parts of her MMA game have been failing for a long time. And that's just the way that is. And I also do want to say, when I'm saying that this is not a diss to Talita Noguiera. It's not a diss. Okay, this isn't a diss. It's more of an observation. Okay, it's more of an observation. What I saw. It's an observation, ladies and gentlemen. And I observed that her striking is not there. Okay, I mean, she's very flat-footed. And so when you try to do that in striking, man, it's a bad combination for somebody who know how to strike. I always recommend this to fighters, man. And I know that, in between fights, it takes a while to get striking down. It's not something that comes overnight. I get that. But that's something that if it's a weakness, you got to work that almost every day. Along with your jiu-jitsu rolling, along with wrestling, you got to work striking every day. You got to learn how to throw efficient jabs. You got to learn how to get up on the balls of your feet. See, in instances in jiu-jitsu, you can be flat-footed. You can engage somebody flat-footed, and you can still take them down. You can still do what you got to do. See, when you're a striker, you can't, being flat-footed is not always recommended. You got to get up on the balls of your feet. You got to know how to move laterally. You got to know, how to actually pivot out of there. You got to know how to do some things. You can't do that when you're flat-footed. But I think if Talita Noguiera really wants to get on top, she's going to have to do that. Or, she'll get to the championship fight every time. And it's going to be somebody there on that championship level that's going to be able to stop those takedowns. They're going to be able to do it. And the holes in your game will be exposed.